Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Penny. Say hello, Satsu.
Hello, everyone.
And your Lord of Punishment is right over there. Say hello, Scribe Light.
I'm over here. What are
Right
we?
over there.
Are we in space somehow? I thought we were. Wait, where am I?
You're over there. He just said it. Jesus Christ.
What? But where is there? I don't know where I am now.
There is here.
Hi.
And I am your Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey, and we are here to entertain you for the next 2 hours. And that's as much as I can do.
And I'll form the head. Oh wait.
It's hard to sound that happy.
Yeah.
I don't know how game show hosts do it. How you guys doing tonight? How you doing, Satsu?
Pretty good. Had a good day. And that's about it.
Okay. And Scribbles?
Well, I had a migraine most of the day and was in either constant pain or constant discomfort for most of it, and it's only kind of worn off in the last hour or two. So, yeah, that was my day.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Mine was okay. Slept and then got to spend some time with my woman, and then got to see my son and grandbaby number 2. The pumpkin was here. I was a little disappointed because she didn't want Grandpa much.
Oh.
The only time she wanted me was so she could get into trouble. I was sitting on the edge of the couch, and there's this little area that's kind of roped off from her. And she would come over and reach up for me to pick her up, and I'd pick her up, and then she'd lean over the couch to try to get into the spot she's not supposed to be in. Like, huh. And as soon as I would tell her no, she'd get down and just go do other stuff. But she still did give me a hug and a kiss, so she still loves me. She was just far more interested in her toys and stuff than she was Grandpa. Maybe next time.
Mm-hmm.
I was still happy to see her, even if she wasn't as happy to see me. But that's okay. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones movies, video games. Hit that like button, guys, and share our stuff because YouTube's not going to do it. Just want to get that out of the way. I need to make a correction. I told everybody I was probably going to be gaming after the stream. I will not be doing that tonight. After the stream, you know what I'm going to do, guys?
You're going to sleep.
Yes, I'm going to crawl my happy ass into a nice warm bed where I'm going to stay until I wake up.
Wow.
Yeah,
do you dream much, Monkey?
No, I really don't.
No, that's too bad.
No. It's just darkness until I wake back up.
Ugh, okay.
How lovely.
Yeah, great. I'm glad I asked.
So, with that, do we have any news?
Well, how about we go over the events of the impeachment hearings today with our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Cillizza.
Sure, but before we do that, Terry Diamandis, thank you so much. 2 points of commercial viability. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh.
I'm commercially viable.
Yay. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to Chris in a second, but yeah, so I listened to, because even though I stayed home because of the migraine today, but I still had to do my work job stuff. So I was dialed into work stuff while I was listening to the impeachment hearing. And I started listening just after Ambassador Taylor finished his opening statement. So I got the meat of what was really, going on. And I mean, we'll discuss what Chris says in a second here, but the two things we'll see what he says we should come away from this with, but the two things I came away with was it remains the case, so far as I can tell, that despite what was said on the phone call, what was said before the phone call, etc., no investigation was announced, and the the financial support was given to Ukraine without it. So I said this last night, I think, the basics of determining whether a actual crime takes place. And I understand this is sort of, criminal justice stuff, but all the same. Actus reus, mens reus. You have the act and you have the mentality to commit that act. If you're lacking one or the other, you don't have a crime per se. If somebody doesn't have the mentality to have committed an act, you could say diminished capacity or manslaughter, something like that. But anyway, in this instance, there was quid, but no quo, as they say. So can you have quid pro quo if there was no payoff? If just saying something doesn't actually lead to something happening, is that a crime? Well, it's not a crime, but then we're not dealing with the criminal justice system. But if that's the foundation of the entire argument, it's hard to make that argument. And the second thing was the first two witnesses they bring up, and people have been pointing this out, and it's not a bad argument. They've never spoken to Donald Trump in their entire lives.
Yes.
And nor did they ever communicate with him about, nor were either of them on the call on which this entire thing is based. They were everything they know about the entire situation comes from someone else. Now, there was a lot of talk about what was hearsay and what wasn't. Some of the things people were saying were hearsay weren't hearsay because they were actually first-party witnesses to the conversations, even though they weren't with Trump. They overheard everything. That's different. But at the same time, I'm like, these are the first people you bring out are people that have no direct knowledge or interaction with the person that you're trying to impeach on these issues. That's not a good look. I mean, I don't know. Again, we're not dealing with the criminal justice system, even though there was some confusion about that early on. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So, anyway, what do you guys think?
Well, first off, I'm hearing that hearsay is much more valuable than direct evidence.
God.
Yeah, that fucking part was fun.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes. Let's be fair. He said sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah, he did. Quinn, oh, you fucking moron. I think the best moment for the Republicans came when they pointed that out. Like, so you've never spoken with the president? No. Okay. Well, there you go.
All right. Well, let's see what. Oh, sorry.
I think. Did you sneeze, Satsu?
No, Squishy just left the room.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's all it was.
Let's see what Chris Eliza has to say, and we can riff off of that. So Chris says, the most important moments of the first day of public impeachment hearings. I'm going to skip over his opening thing because I don't care. So number one, Adam Schiff appeals to history and the future. Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff's opening statement had a very clear message. These hearings aren't just about Trump.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Now, I didn't hear Adam Schiff's opening statement. I only heard the witness, the last 2 minutes or whatever of the second witness's opening statement, so I don't know what he said. Okay, they're not just about Trump, even though it's an impeachment hearing against President Trump. They're about how the presidency functions and should function within our democracy and about the checks and balances between the legislative and executive branches built into the Constitution. No, it isn't.
Not even
I'm just going to throw this up. I already read this, and
Okay.
this is Chris is going to come down very, very hard on the side of the Democrats.
Oh, I saw that over the course of his tweets today. Yeah.
Sure. Schiff is wrong about this. This is about Trump. That's what this is about, period.
Quote, our answer to these questions will affect not only the future of this presidency, but the future of the presidency itself and what kind of conduct or misconduct the American people may come to expect from their commander-in-chief, said Schiff at one point. Well, then now that is true conceivably. I mean, if Trump is impeached and or removed from office, that would set a new, not legal precedent, but would set a new policy, I suppose, precedent for arguments in the future against other presidential actions. Doesn't mean that the next president does the same thing and will get impeached, because if his party's in power, he won't. But in that sense, sure, it could, I guess. At another, and this is back to Chris, at another, citing Trump's what? Okay, Chris, go back to fucking school. At another, citing the Trump's administration's not the Trump administration's, but the Trump '*S administration '*S refusal to allow its senior officials to testify before Congress. Schiff said such a move, quote, is not what the founders intended, unquote, adding, quote, the prospects for further corruption and abuse of power in this administration or another will be exponentially increased. Then why aren't you letting Hunter Biden testify?
The founders intended this to be about actual criminal activity, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to push back on you there, Monkey, because a lot of the things mentioned at the founding were things like, and I'm not even kidding. One of the things that was purportedly said could be grounds for impeachment when the country was very, very young was if the president removed a capable person from the office they were sitting in, whatever capable.
Fair.
So crimes wasn't necessarily the intent either in the beginning.
In the beginning, but what was written down?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Treason, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. So
right.
I get what you're saying. But that's what they decided. Yeah,
well, but that's the thing. The ambiguity of what rises to the level is both a benefit and a hindrance depending on how it's being used. And they can't claim crime here because they're having a hard time trying to define exactly what it was that he did, since nothing actually came of the words he said.
Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily true. I mean, there was Castro who actually used the term extortion today.
Oh, that was hilarious.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, okay. In closing, Schiff asked, quote, is that what Americans should now expect from their president? If this is not impeachable conduct, what is? Well, as I said on Twitter, this is kind of my fucketry for today. When that quote came up, I said, what is impeachable conduct? Well, the House tells us what's impeachable conduct.
That's true.
Because it's not defined. Aside from treason, it is not defined, besides which, what you can impeach him for. So you tell us, Mr. Schiff, what do you think is impeachable conduct? Because that's kind of where we're at. Does the oath of office itself, requiring that our laws be faithfully executed, that our president defend a constitution that balances the powers of its branches, setting ambition against ambition so that we become no monarchy, still have meaning, unquote? Well, we're not going to be a monarchy. And Trump. I'm sorry. I hate defend. Like I hate defend. I want to make something clear. I've said this before. Trump is a moron. Every time he says something that's stupid, it doesn't give him credibility or anything. He is so often now we have seen Trump telling a subordinate, "I think we should do X," and then they don't do X. Thankfully, I guess, for the sake of things. So nothing actually happens. But he doesn't seem to understand what position he's in, the weight his words carry from the office he's sitting in, or the implications of what he's saying could have, even if he doesn't have the intent behind them. And this is a constant feature of this administration, and it frustrates the fuck out of me. At the same time, if he says something that is inappropriate, but nothing inappropriate comes from it, it's a very difficult thing to convince me that he's committed a crime or a violation or not just done something unconventional for a president, which seems to be every fucking week.
I'm just blown away by him actually bringing up not wanting a king. The fuck does that have to do with what's going on, Mr. Schiff?
Unless he's...
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I saw so many people on Twitter today talk about Adam Schiff knocked it out of the park. What I've seen of what he said and what I've read of it, no, he didn't. He said a whole bunch of meaningless shit. It was meaningless garbage. Address what's going on, Mr. Schiff, which you didn't do. You really didn't.
But the other thing, too, if you read that statement just on its own outside the context of this particular impeachment, I would be very curious to ask Mr. Schiff what he then thinks about Obama's decision to pass DACA by presidential fiat. You want to talk about checks and balances, the powers of the branches, ambition against ambition, no monarchy. Mm-hmm. Well, then shouldn't we have impeached President Obama for what he did with DACA? I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to do a whataboutism thing here, but if that is the standard you're setting, then,
West.
and which I don't know. I mean, the standard spoken isn't necessarily anything I disagree with fundamentally, but if that's the standard, then Trump isn't new at this game in that regard. If even what he did constitutes a crime or impeachment. Let's see. The goal of Schiff's repeated invocations of history, he mentioned the founders twice and the Constitution 3 times, was to cast these hearings less as a partisan effort directed at Trump, which it totally is, and more as a necessary defense of the democratic principles on which the country was founded. Yeah, he'll make it try to sound like anything greater than what it actually is. No doubt.
Chris, blow me. Go ahead, Satsu. I'm sorry.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because this is a statement that's been coming up quite often, and that is the difference between using America or the United States power to keep your other countries and stuff in check, or using that power to gain political clout on an opponent.
Right.
A lot of people are highlighting the difference between the. Do you think that is like the determining factor there? Like that's the major difference?
Well, like I said, when this thing first broke, if Trump had never spoken the name Biden on that phone call, we probably wouldn't be here.
Right.
I mean, now, admittedly, from what everything is being said, many discussions were had prior to that phone call that still mentioned Biden and everything. So maybe something like that would have come out anyway. But just fundamentally, if Trump had never mentioned Biden in any of these investigation claims for Ukraine and just said corruption, and even if he mentioned the 2016 election thing, we probably wouldn't be here. So the appropriateness of him bringing up a political rival in the course of talking to a newly elected foreign leader was distinctly inappropriate. Certainly, I'm not going to argue that. And it smacks of, using the power of the office for personal gain effectively. Which now is Trump the first person to ever do that? Or certainly there have been several presidents in the past who have used the office to do something that ostensibly wasn't for personal gain, but maybe down the line, the long game kind of thing would become personal gain or personal cachet. But that's beside the point. This is a direct call, effectively, to try to hamstring a political opponent. So if that is impeachable, simply trying or implying such a use of the office for that, then sure. Again, that's the House's determination. The fact that nothing actually came of it, save for the fact that, it's kind of like the Streisand effect. As soon as he said it, but nothing actually happened, more people are talking about it than if it had been never brought up in the first place, So, there is a difference. There is a big difference. And Trump, as far as I'm concerned, at least rhetorically, crossed the line.
Well, with that being said, a popular counter to that is the fact that then why isn't Obama guilty? But the reason that I'm asking about that is because I don't exactly understand or know, I guess, have the knowledge to know exactly what Obama did to compare the two.
I don't know either. I'd have to know what the explicit example is where Obama leveraged the presidency for personal, direct political gain.
Apparently, it was to get information on Trump when Trump was running.
I've heard that happened or something like it, but again, I would need to know the specifics because I don't know.
Right, and I don't either, and that's why, whenever I'm talking to people about it, I don't usually bring that point up because I don't know enough about it as far as the comparison goes. But I was asking because I figured you guys might.
Yeah, I mean, if Trump was using the office, if Obama was using the office to get dirt on Trump, it wouldn't be for his direct personal gain because at that point Obama wasn't up for re-election. It could have been, the gain of the Democratic Party and or Hillary Clinton on behalf of maybe. But again, the only time I ever hear that brought up is something in relation to the Steele dossier. But then I don't know what hand, if any, Obama had in that. Maybe it's been said. Maybe somebody in the chat will tell us. But I haven't seen a transcript or something where Obama said to foreign leader X, "Do this because we need to get dirt on Trump," or something to that sounds.
Well, that brings me back to one more question, just real quick. And this is a quick one. Do you guys think that if, let's just say this was Trump's second term and he wasn't up for re-election, this would be an issue?
I think they'd be trying to make it an issue because it still becomes an issue going into the next election for whoever's running for the Republicans.
Yeah. I don't see an instance where, I mean, like, if we're going to see things like this if Trump gets reelected.
Yep.
I mean, we might not see impeachment again. It all depends, of course. But it's a coin toss as far as I'm concerned. But all the same, the devastation to the party's ego of the 2016 election has obviously not withered away over the last 3 years, and it's certainly not going to wither away if he gets reelected. So they'll continue to try to find a way to invalidate his election, and because they don't like him, they don't like that they lost. It's just going to keep going.
Real quick, the guy who's sitting in chat says, again, would this be a problem if Biden wasn't a candidate? That is a fair question, and probably not.
Right. If Biden was just a private citizen and had nothing to do with anything, but again, like I said, if he never brought up the guy's name, we wouldn't be hearing about this. It would be just one more sort of like irritant thing, maybe, if they could even say that. Like if he said, we need you guys to make an announcement that you're investigating corruption in your country because the look of Ukraine, et cetera, isn't good if we're going to give you this funding. Now, people have said, well, we've never withheld funding from countries, even if there was a corruption problem, because, we need to have our allies and everything else. And I'm like, well, I mean, okay, maybe, but that's a policy, not a rule. And again, I mean, so much of this stuff is like, no president before has ever behaved this way. Like, and that's not an argument against anything.
It's also false, but
yeah. Okay, sorry.
I had a question, but it'll probably come back up again. Go
okay, let me get through. I will shorten a couple more of these points because I'm not going to go through them in long. The next big point Chris has is Devin Nunes turns it up to 11. If Schiff tried to ground the hearings in history, Devin Nunes, the highest-ranking Republican on the Intelligence Committee, sought to go the gonzo route. He called the hearings a pitiful finale to Democratic attempts to overturn the results of the 2016 election. He described the closed-door testimony offered by Ukraine witnesses a, quote, cult-like atmosphere. He suggested that the whistleblower, quote, was known to have a bias against President Trump. He derided the impeachment sham, and he called the proceedings a star chamber. Well, up until now, they kind of were. You guys had private hearings and didn't give the Republicans any opportunity to call their own witnesses. And let's see. Next point is Bill Taylor's opening statement is a wow. Was it? I listened to part of it. Taylor, the top U.S. official in Ukraine, delivered a tour de force opening statement. Also, that guy's accent, I swear to God, the entire time I was listening to him, I thought of Tom Brokaw. I wonder if he comes from the same part of the country as Tom Brokaw, because the way he formed some words in his accent, I kept thinking, am I listening to Tom Brokaw? Other people were saying he sounds like Walter Cronkite. I didn't really hear that part, but maybe that's just me. Packed with details about the formation of an irregular channel led by personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani with Ukraine that often ran directly counter to his own regular channel and long-standing U.S. policy in the region. Now, that part I did find interesting because there's plenty of evidence to show that Giuliani, a private citizen who wasn't elected, doesn't have really an official position or anything, is running diplomatic interference for Trump that runs counter to the actual State Department and actual ambassadors and everything. I don't understand the logic behind that, but then this is the Trump administration, so disorganization, or was Trump hedging his bets on what he could do or what leverage he could pull on the country? I don't know. I never understood that part.
I figured out what my question was, by the way.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking about this before, and I was wondering if Trump had kind of pending dealings with Ukraine, and this was something that they were talking about in a situation that they needed to take care of. Eventually, at some point, as the president, he was going to have to talk to them about this. When would it have been appropriate?
When Biden wasn't on the campaign trail anymore. I mean, at best, when Biden was just a private citizen again and not a presidential candidate. And again, at best, because even then, I'm not even sure that would pass muster with a lot of people, but still.
So after the results of the election? maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if Biden had not put his hat into the ring, which he already had at that point, he did it back in April, and the phone calls and everything were taking place in July, or after the 2020 election, when either Trump had, I mean, if Trump had got reelected and then did it, it would seem petty, probably, but it wouldn't seem inherently inappropriate or self-serving, say for maybe his ego or his vengeance or something, which you could probably pin on him.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, as a president who's dealing with foreign nations regularly, if that was a dealing that you needed to make, it was a conversation that you were having with this place anyway, and then all of a sudden, the person in question is just like, I'm running for president now, and you're like, okay, well, does this get put on hold until further notice, or do I continue to do my job?
Well, I mean, the smart thing to have done was, if you really wanted to try to, and again, this is just playing politics, if you really wanted to try to get Biden into a net after he had put his hat into the ring without being caught trying to do that, again, you just don't bring up his name. Yeah. Just tell them, like, because as far as I understand, there was an investigation taking place before the new Ukrainian administration took over, but it got dropped because of the whole, change of administration. So if Trump had just said, hey, for the sake of everything, we need you guys to restate and reinitiate this investigation that was going on beforehand to try to give cover to the notion and the facts on the ground that Ukraine is fairly corrupt before we give you this funding. I mean, they would just make things, it would just ease things a little bit better politically. If that's all he'd said, and Biden's name came up as a natural matter of course in their investigations, well, then there's a benefit and Trump's fingerprints aren't on it. That would have been the smart play, but then this is Trump.
Okay, sorry, I'm like bombarding you guys with questions.
No, well, I mean, and I'm no expert or anything. That's just my theory on it. But no, I mean, that's fine. This is how I'm sure, the questions and the frustrations you have and I have and Monkey has or what everybody else is having right now.
Yeah, I was just trying to grasp everything because it's just, you can't fucking trust the media to really accurately.
No, not after reading Chris's stuff here. I don't know. Should I keep going with this or should we move on to something else?
Do you have anything else pulled up?
Well, I've got Trump's meeting with Erdogan. I've got Deval Patrick. I've got Colin Kaepernick. So not really anything else important. I mean, things happened today, but honestly, the entire world was focused on the impeachment.
Yeah, I don't know if the horse is dead yet, but it's definitely on life support. So,
let's see. Okay, well, I'll skip down to the last point, which is one of the ones that we brought up. Republicans say Ukraine never did what Trump asked. So, ... says Chris. One of the main thrusts of the GOP argument against the testimony of Taylor and Kent is that, for all their concerns about what Trump asked of Zelensky, the nearly $400 million in military aid was released in September, even without Ukraine making any public statement about its plans to investigate the Bidens. Jordan hit on the nothing actually happened line, as did Texas Representative John Ratcliffe, as did New York Representative Elise Stefanik. But context matters. Okay.
Not to you, silly.
Right around the time that the aid was released fully, September 11th, Congress had begun to ask questions on a bipartisan basis about why the aid was being withheld. And there was already talk about a whistleblower complaint, which had been formally filed on August 11th, alleging wrongdoing by Trump on that call with Zelensky, among other things. That timing suggests that the argument being made by Jordan and other Republicans isn't as conclusive as they want it to seem. Okay, Chris, let's say for the sake of argument that you're right, okay, and that the funding was released as a preemptive strike against accusations of quid pro quo. Doesn't that mean there wasn't a quid pro quo?
Yep.
Doesn't that mean that the pressure that was already bubbling in the background had the effect it should have if we're talking about avoiding a quid pro quo? Again, it doesn't make what Trump said or what they might have been planning appropriate. But if the trigger is never pulled and the bullet never leaves the gun, you don't have a firearms violation inherently, or you don't actually fire the bullet. I don't know what to tell you.
Is that the unique thing about the impeachment inquiry versus, I guess like a actual hearing or something like that, where it's just like at that point, the fact that it didn't happen is kind of irrelevant. It's like, but do we still want somebody who was trying to do it in there? Like, is that where that becomes like a valid thing?
Well, so the conceivably valid argument, given the fact that impeachment or the crimes that rise to the level are so ambiguous, was the president abusing the power of the office beyond the scope of his duties as president? Okay. So now, if you make the argument that him bringing up the Bidens in that conversation was an intentional and direct attempt at using the office of the president for his own personal political gain, and since we're not talking about a court of law kind of thing, if simply by making those statements to the president of Ukraine was an abuse of power, regardless of the outcome, then sure, that's an impeachable offense. However, this is so quasi-legal, and the way Schiff has so far run these public hearings is so confusingly, Sixth Amendment, not Sixth Amendment, all over the place. The fact that nothing came of those words, it's going to be a difficult sell to remove him from office by the time it gets to the Senate.
Real quick, thank you, Sir Wolfgang, who says, you get a firearms charge, just ask Andy's friend. I think Scribe was actually going more for an unlawful discharge.
Whatever. I mean, you know what I mean.
I know what you meant.
Metaphor. It was you don't take the action. If you have the thought, but you don't take the action, it doesn't come to anything as a crime, technically.
Indeed. But again, what it comes down to, Satsu, is that this is not a criminal proceeding.
Right.
That's the long and short of it. So they can run this however they want to. They can decide this is relevant. We actually saw that today. The Republicans start to question Taylor, and Adam Schiff interrupts the Republican to tell Taylor that he doesn't necessarily have to answer that question because of rules. And the Republican's like, whoa, wait a minute. We're using rules now, are we? And it was a fucking amazing little exchange.
Yeah.
Which Adam Schiff quickly backed down. Like, look, no, I'm going to allow it. But I was just letting him know. That's all.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
Yeah. The one guy, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he was like, oh, wait a second. We need to know under what rules we're operating because you didn't tell us.
Yeah, that was
Ratcliffe. He says, this is news to us. So because I think it had something to do with facts, not in evidence or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, wait a second. Everything that you asked was about facts, not in evidence, about hearsay or he said, she said. Now our questions are constrained by rules that you didn't abide by yourself. What? And so that moment immediately, I mean, if anybody watching, and especially the look on Adam Schiff's face, he looked like the church lady, his wide eyes and just sort of like passive aggressive, like flat mouth. I just thought, okay, if anybody had any doubts that this is a one-sided dog and pony show, that moment pretty much killed it. I mean, everything else that happened afterwards can be debated and everything, but Adam Schiff's, even the notion of Adam Schiff's quote unquote impartiality about the process out the window right then, So.
It was fun. It was a great moment. And you're right. It absolutely showed like this is a one-sided thing that's just going to be, it's here to entertain the crowd for a little bit.
I do have some breaking news.
What we got?
I do have breaking news. Then I knew this like an hour or two ago, but it just popped up again in my feed. Cenk Uygur is going to run for Congress.
Yes, I saw that.
He's going to try to replace nudie picture affairs with her staffers, Katie Hill. And I want him to win. I want to see him on the floor of Congress, and I want to get a video clip that I will use until the end of time of him making a speech or a statement or something, and then ending a sentence with, right?
Right.
And I will use that in every video I can from here until the end of time. And also, if he happens to say on the floor, of course, I just want him in an official capacity saying one or both of those two things. I'd be happy as hell. Anyway.
Cenk still has the baggage that got him kicked out of the Justice Democrats.
Yes.
So I don't see it happening, Cenk. I wish you luck, dude. Good luck. I mean, the Republican out there is probably going to win back his seat. Sir Wolfgang, thank you so much. The graceful TYT Buffalo charges into the fray. Yeah.
I want to see his campaign speech. That's going to be great.
I wonder if campaign rules will make him step away from TYT.
Oh, that is an interesting question. Would he have to like divest himself of the company while he's running in some fashion? Because I mean, I wonder, could you use if you're the head of a media organization, large or small or otherwise, could you use that as a place to essentially spout out propaganda? Is that a campaign election? No, I don't think so. Could you?
Oh, that is a campaign finance violation.
So would he have to? He'd have to like divest himself of TYT at least for the duration of his campaign.
Yeah, he'd have to at least come off the show itself.
Yeah, you'd have to come off the show and come off the payroll. And come off of administrative decisions, essentially, for the entirety of his campaign. Yeah.
I don't know if you thought that through. Did you see his tweet about it? To the press, no comment.
Well, not a good way to start your campaign.
Yeah. I saw that earlier and laughed quite a bit over it. Like, you dumbass.
Anyway, those are all as much as we had, stories that I had, so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now is your time. This is where we head over to a spot we call MSS News. If there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up on the Twitter machine at the hashtag MSS News. We can't get to them all, but that's just because Cenk Uger's running for Congress.
P-Dog Knight sent us that story as well, so thank you for that, P-Dog. And I guess P-Dog's got some kind of creepypasta channel. If I'm categorizing that correctly, you guys go check it out. I tweeted it out earlier. And I mean, if anybody's got a voice for reading creepy stories, P-Dog's got that voice.
You think P-Dog has a creepy voice?
No, I think he can make his voice into a creepy announcer voice.
I feel like you just said he had a creepy voice.
No, I said he has range, monkey.
That's not what I heard.
Well, maybe you need to get your hearing checked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, are your ears connected to your spine by any chance?
Oh, hurtful. That's hurtful.
I know. I'm a horrible person. This one comes from Desert Tramp. Magical unicorn puppy. Okay. 10-week-old golden retriever puppercorn born with tail on forehead. Oh, it looks like a little Superman swirl.
Oh, okay. What is going on there?
What's going on with what?
Thank you, Sanguine. Sorry, now I have to bring up it over here because you wrote a long one, which I don't mind. It doesn't stay on the screen long enough for me to read it. Here we go. Damn it, Scribe. Now I have how convenient. I can't do it the church lady way. We are using rules now. That reminds me of something. Now, what could it be? Could it be collusion? In church lady's voice stuck in my head. I wish I could have done that justice, Sanguine. I'm so sorry that I can't, but yeah.
Well, isn't that special?
That's special. And Cody Fry, thank you so much for your ear surgery, Ranting Monkey.
And
damn.
We have a birthday request as well, apparently.
We do. That's what I was actually stopping on. And real quick, P-Dog, how you doing, my friend?
Fredo, please.
Scribe thinks you sound creepy.
You know, when I wake up on a Sunday morning and record, my voice is so deep, I can do just about anything.
Ooh.
So that's the secret to doing creepypasta videos. Although it's not really, this one's just a historical video about executioners. But let me just stay within the format of the show. I'll just sit back and listen for a moment.
Okay, and with that, we actually have Sakura. Mega Man has asked us, says, it's my friend Sakura's birthday today. I want to request a birthday song for her if possible. Going to be sharing this with her live to surprise her. I don't remember how tall she is.
Now, are you ready to share it? Because we don't want to start and you're not able to share it live. So,
Well, I'm ready to sing at any moment. So
okay, so we just need a heads up from was Mega Man Chronicles. We just need to know that you're here and listening, and we'll begin. So I don't want to get that wrong. Go right ahead.
Right ahead. Kura, we understand it's your birthday, and around here, we do this. And a 1, and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
My darling,
Happy birthday to you.
Happy fucking birthday.
can't get enough of your little baby.
Happy birthday, dear Sakura.
Yes, he can. Don't believe him.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Sakura. I hope you had a great one. I really do. Dog, I think I'm picking up like television in your background, bud.
Oh, that's okay. I just came in to say hi. I actually got to go. So thanks, though. I appreciate it, guys.
Bye, Lawyer Dog.
Bye now.
Always happy to see you, my friend. We'll have you on for the whole show one night soon.
All right, brother.
Later, dude.
Later.
See you later, bud. He came on just to sing.
Was that singing?
Well,
He
not
contributed.
contributed.
Yeah, he interjected. Yeah. Anyway, back to the magical puppy. Let's see. A 10-week-old golden retriever was born with a tail on its forehead, garnering adoration on social media and a fitting nickname, Puppercorn.
It has an actual tail on its forehead?
Yeah, I sent out the article link in the chat. It
I
literally
wasn't
has a
paying
tail.
attention to that. I was getting ready to sing.
It had a little tail growing out of the middle of its forehead. Over the weekend, the puppy was found after being abandoned, said Rochelle Steffen from Max Mission in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, who is fostering the puppercorn named Narwhal. Oh, the million-dollar question about Narwhal's extra tail on his face. Is it connected and does it wag? The extra tail is not connected to anything and has no real use other than making him the coolest puppy ever, said Max Mission in a Facebook post on the puppy. So I'm assuming it means it's just an extra lock of hair, effectively.
Creepiest dog ever. Thank you, Cryptic, who says boys to men would be rolling in their graves if they were dead. Hey.
Dum 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 da da dum 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 da 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 ya 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 da
Do what you did, Cryptic. Go sit in the corner.
Now they can roll in their grave because I actually did attempt that. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, cute puppy, weird thing growing out of its forehead. Yay. Let's see. We did that. We talked about that. This one comes from Frosted Glass. Hillary Clinton warns of path to fascism after MPs stand down. What? Online threats which intimidate people into standing down as MPs, we're talking about Britain here, I guess, are, quote, the path to authoritarianism and fascism, Hillary Clinton has said. Speaking to an audience in London, Clinton said she took, quote, very seriously, unquote, the fact that significant numbers of female MPs had opted not to run again for parliament in the coming election, in many cases citing online intimidation and threats against their safety. Because public figures of any stripe never get threatened ever for anything. And giving into such threats, isn't that counterproductive?
Yes.
Quote, when I heard about all these people, particularly the women, who weren't going to run again as MPs, and they attributed it to threats they are going to face, that is not only a threat to individuals, that is a threat to democracy, she said. Capitulating to such threats is a threat to democracies. I'm not going to deny that one. Quote, if people are intimidated out of running for office, then maybe they shouldn't be running in the first place. Oh, that's my addition. Sorry. If people are intimidated out of running for office in a democracy because of these hate mongers on the left or the right, that is the path to authoritarianism. That is the path to fascism, unquote. I don't know. The phrase, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen kind of comes to my mind, but
anyway. Or if you can't take the heat, get your ass back in the kitchen. How about that?
I mean, if you're going to completely give up on running because of online whatever, how are you going to stand up to like a pointed reporter asking you directed questions? Or if you're in a diplomatic situation, standing up to or asserting yourself against someone, diplomatic either internationally or just domestically and trying to get legislation passed or something. What are you going to do?
Faithless in chat asks, why is Hillary meddling in UK elections? That's a good question. Well, you have to remember, they have no problem with Steele meddling in ours. So apparently if it's British, it's okay.
British. Okay, I'm not going to read the article just because the headline is so ridiculous, but this one comes from Massive Dynamics. Extreme road rage. Watch Honda Civic repeatedly attack a Tesla Model 3. Are these driverless cars? Are these cars? Do these cars have sentience like in the movie Cars, or is it Maximum Overdrive, or could there be people doing this and not the cars?
I believe it's people.
Yeah, well, the headline is stupid. But we'll move on to a different story from Massive Dynamics, which I will read. Let's see. English newspaper apologizes for obituary of man who is still alive.
Okay.
It's always fun. An English newspaper has apologized for publishing an obituary about someone who, to their surprise, is still alive. The Northern Echo, a news outlet based in northeast England, reported that a man named Charlie Donaghy, described as a lifelong fan of grassroots sports in the region, was dead. They apparently, quote, checked with 3 independent sources, unquote, to confirm his passing. Quote, however, we are pleased to be able to report that Mr. Donaghy is alive and well, the paper wrote in an apology published Monday. Quote, we removed the story from our website and social media channels as soon as we were made aware that it was incorrect, unquote. I wonder if the 3 people they talked to like said he was dead just as a joke.
Real quick, over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much, Furry Kitten, who says, shilling a channel, https mentalhealthtalk.uk.co.uk. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with them, so I can't chill them myself, but I appreciate the donation.
You can put it in the chat.
I could indeed.
The Echo staff wrote they, quote, apologize unreservedly for our mistake and for any understandable distress and devastation that was caused to Mr. Donaghy, his family, and friends. I'm still wondering, how did they get there? Like, what 3 sources confirmed this to them that they then relied upon? I don't really.
My question is how accurate was it?
Well, I mean, they have a copy of it here. It shows, like, I'm sure the biography is accurate as far as it is, because they usually have these things pre-prepared, so I don't know. But I'm really wondering if the 3 people they talked to were like, oh yeah, he's totally dead. Of course, now when he does finally pass on, hopefully a long time from now, it's going to be, is he though? Is he? That'll be funny.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Brenda Fry, over on the Streamlabs as well, who says, Streamlabs, stop it. You did this to me last night. Okay. It's loading very slow. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. A very merry unbirthday to you, the most awesome monkey on the internet. That is very kind. Very kind of you. Thank you so much.
Let's see. This one comes from the original Shroom. Police. Mayor told cops and first responders not to help during Trump rally.
Do what now?
So this comes from lawenforcementtoday.com. I've never heard of that. But anyway, the mayor of a Louisiana town has come under fire after he allegedly told police and other emergency responder personnel not to assist the city ahead of Trump's upcoming visit. The Shreveport Times reported that President Trump is scheduled to attend a rally on Thursday at 7 p.m. in CenturyLink Center. That's a naming right kind of thing. That's a dumb name. To endorse Republican Eddie Rispone, I don't know, in his bid to unseat Democratic Governor John Bel Edwards in the November 16th Louisiana governor election. KPRC Radio reported on Wednesday that while emergency crews and police plan to help prepare for the upcoming rally, Shreveport Mayor Adrian Perkins has ordered them to not get involved. Quote, this order pertains to traffic control and the fire department bomb squad, the report noted. A text from a department supervisor to officers seemed to confirm the allegations. Quote, we have been advised to stand down assisting with the Trump motorcade Thursday. LSP will be taking over. The mayor has advised he does not want SPD or SFD involved, the text reportedly read. Let's see, Keel reported that while they'd reached out to the mayor's office for clarification, they've been unable to get a comment about the actions. So you're standing down the bomb squad on a presidential visit.
That sounds weird.
What? Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, the mayor's office didn't respond to anything, so it's just like, who knows what the truth or accuracy of any of this is, but if that's even halfway accurate. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
I wonder if anybody thought to ask why.
Just last month, we saw another city leader appear in a crowd of rowdy protesters outside a Trump rally. The group was calling for police officers to be killed. President Trump's visit to Minneapolis went about exactly as most people thought, as thousands turned out for cops for Trump shirts. Police say a violent crowd formed outside the. And among those protesting and lashing out at police officers, Democratic Representative Alicia Gomez, the Star Tribune's Andy Mannix was like, picture of Gomez as green hair.
Is that me or?
Thing I get. Squad. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you were robot in there a bit, dude.
Okay. Where's Monkey?
I don't know. I think he muted himself temporarily, but yeah, that.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, I was talking to him like, why isn't Scribe answering me? God damn it.
Okay, now Monkey's robot for me looking up again.
Yeah, it's you. You're pretty bad there, Scribe. Yeah, sorry. I muted to blow my nose and
Forgot.
like, why isn't he fucking listening to me? Damn it. What do you think about this kind of stuff, Satsu?
What was it again? I'm sorry.
A mayor ordering bomb squad and first responders not to get involved with the president's visit.
It sounds like some shit that should be happening in 2019.
Indeed.
Testing.
Hey, Scribbles.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're okay for the moment.
I'm trying a different browser this time on the off chance it has something to do with the browser. I don't know if it does, but we'll see. You guys tell me if I start robot again. I don't mean to, obviously, but my internet doesn't like me lately, apparently. Let me get back to MSS News. Let's see, we did the bomb squad. Okay, this one comes from Angry Illinoisan. Wisconsin bus driver saves children wandering in snow as deadly Arctic air mass grips U.S. Okay. As bitter cold took hold across the Midwest earlier, a bus driver helping rescue two children who were very underdressed for the weather conditions. Nicole Chamberlain.
Scribbles, we are losing you horribly.
For Waukesha Metro train today.
There we go. I'll finish reading the story, and then we're going to finish up MSS News on this one. Wisconsin bus driver saves children wandering in snow as deadly Arctic air mass grips U.S. As bitter cold took hold across the U.S., across the Midwest earlier this week, a sharp-eyed bus driver in Wisconsin was credited with helping rescue two children who were very underdressed for the weather conditions. Nicole Chamberlain was driving her route from, oh, fuck, I can't say that. Waukesha Metro Transit Monday around 8 a.m. in the city located west of Milwaukee when she spotted a boy wearing just a t-shirt and pants along with a girl wearing just a t-shirt and a diaper.
Holy shit. What?
Which makes me want to fucking throat punch somebody. No one had a coat on, Chamberlain told Fox 6 on Tuesday. It was snowing and it was windy, and these were just tiny little kids.
That is fucking insane.
Oh, God. The boy and girl, ages 6 and 2. Oh, this is going to get my goat here, Satsu, but real quick, over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Sanguine, who says, wait, so in other words, Mayor orders that his opposition and the president shouldn't be given the protection of emergency services? But don't worry, it is his opposition that are the fascists, clearly, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just let the bombs go off. Okay, so the boy and girl, 6 and 2, had wandered away with wind chills in the area, just 3 degrees Fahrenheit when Chamberlain spotted them.
God damn.
Surveillance video from inside the bus released by the whatever that is police department shows Chamberlain taking off her coat to use to warm up the children. It's okay, honey. We're going to figure it out. Chamberlain can be heard saying on the video, you're nice and warm on the bus. Chamberlain contacted police, but the children's family came to the bus before cops arrived after witnessing, quote, all of the commotion, and they were reunited with their children. How the fuck do your children wander away like that?
Yeah, there's several questions that need to be answered about that situation.
They're telling me it's Waukesha. Okay.
Waukesha.
Close enough. I was close to that.
Waukesha. I've been there before.
That sounds like some anime shit. See, that kind of story upsets me because you're talking about a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. Okay, maybe the 6-year-old wanders off. You have a 2. Anyhow.
I feel your pain.
It's time to move on. We're going to move on to YouTube time. Man, that's the wrong story to end on, man, because now I'm upset. Satsu, what you did on the YouTube?
Well, I was looking into sites like Squarespace.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been thinking about setting up a website for my cooking channel. So I went over there and I was poking around a little bit and quickly realized that I have no fucking idea what I'm doing.
Oh, for God's sake. It's not that bad.
I know it's not. Like, everything is really there for you or whatever. Yep. But I don't have the, like, in any other situation, like before the baby and everything like that, I could sit and watch like a day's worth of tutorials to figure it out and like really focus on trying to, understand the system and checking it out and playing with everything. But I'm like, I don't have the luxury to sit and do that for an extended period of time. Not in order to do something meaningful. So I was wondering if I could possibly, if there was somebody in our community who was, good at such a thing, and would be able to show me maybe something that they've made, because I'm even willing to pay somebody for it. I'd like to get a website for my cooking channel. I think it would be cool and it would help, especially considering the fact that I'm starting to do these templated cards that show the recipes and the ingredients, which I know would be very useful and helpful if I had like a place to put all this stuff that people could go to. Because I'm noticing that a lot of the cooking channels that I watch or follow, almost every single one of them has a website. So
testing.
Yes, welcome back.
Welcome back, sir.
I rebooted my entire computer, scanned my network. I have no control if something else is going on. If I robot again, I might just give up. So there you
go. Thank you, Cody.
Can I just robot again?
No, you're good.
Okay, because you guys are roboting for me. Fuck.
No, you sound okay right now.
Okay.
Cody, thank you so much. Who says, how do you live in the Midwest without knowing how to say Waukesha or whatever that is? Because I've never been there and I've never seen it written anywhere. It's not complicated.
It's Waukesha.
Did I say it right? I don't think I said it right because I mean, my family has some roots in Wisconsin, but I don't know the name places that well.
When I lived in Wisconsin, I was told that it was pronounced Waukesha.
Waukesha. I don't fucking know. I pronounce it the city I can't say. What else you got there, Satsu?
I was also doing some behind the scenes promotional stuff because Wednesday's my promo day. That's the day where I do my channel promotions, and I was over on Social Weaver and a couple other sites that I use for my promo stuff, trying to get new templates and stuff set up for just weekly promotional stuff that'll be coming out throughout the week. I did hop on 7 days to mess around with the base a little bit because I remember you were telling me about the issue, but I think we pinpointed and located what the problem was, so I didn't spend too much time on that. Outside of that, I think that's it. I almost made a video today on my Satsu 2 Cents channel, but I can't remember what it was about.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, something came up, and I was like, man, I want to talk about. Oh, it was well, I guess we could talk about that more at Fucketry time. It was about the tweet that Kanye put out today. Yeah, but we'll get to that at Fucketry time. But that's all I did for YouTube.
Scribbles, what'd you do for the YouTubes today?
I posted a new video. It goes over the diversity report for 2019 from Facebook and them talking about their successes, but mostly failures in the last 5 years to try to more diverse, sort of friendly confession / apologizing for not doing better. And, the question throughout the entire thing is, well, I'm really curious to know what exactly you did to try to increase your numbers of demographics. Because they never specify these things. Facebook, eBay, all the other companies that I've ever done profiles on, they never say exactly how they tend to do it, but conceivably they're actually hiring people on the basis of their gender or their race. Because if they're not, their numbers would be conceivably better than they are. So I only come up with 3 conclusions by the end of the video. It's like, either they are racist against these groups, whether they want to admit to it or not, and that's why the numbers are still so relatively low. They're racist in favor of these groups, but simply can't find anybody who actually has the skills that they need to fill the job, or don't want to work for Facebook. Or maybe it's a combination of the 3 somehow. I don't know, but those are the only explanations I can come up with, and they don't have any explanations elsewise. But then, if their goal is to try to pad out their numbers based on things that have nothing to do with skill and merit, then I don't really feel bad that they're failing, I guess. But yeah, the way they presented these statistics, some of the testimonials they had from some of their management people was very, very interesting to me and kind of telling. So that's out there. A lot of new subscribers also in the last day or two. I talked about this Sinatra shout out. I've got another new 158 some odd subscribers in the last couple days, which for me is a big boon. So thank you guys for those of you that are new that might be listening. And thank you for letting me know and telling me that Sinatra sent me. Like, yay. One person said, Sinatra, and I'm paraphrasing, Sinatra made a mistake telling us to subscribe to you because now we want to listen to you more than we do Sinatra. And I was like, oh,
ouch.
I said, that's not nice, but hey, by all means, if that's how you feel, I'm not gonna stop you. But other than that, I found another video that I might do something on. It's a lady complaining about how yoga is being culturally appropriated by white people. So it's interesting. Given how she frames her argument. So I will, I'll take a look at that the next day or so and see if it's worth spending my time on.
Do you think?
That's it.
Do you think that these companies that they're like, we got to get more more minority representation in here. They do things like based on stereotypes, like have stereotypical lunches.
Oh, well, I mean, a lot of these companies, and I'm not even making this up, they have things variously called employee resource groups. And these employee resource groups are little organizations or clubs within the company specifically for specific demographics. So one company had like I'm saying it very basically, but you can have like the Mexican American employee resource group, or the immigrant employee resource group, or the veterans employee resource group. A lot of them are based on sexual orientation or gender or race or ethnicity, that are there to have like these little segregated private clubs inside the company, just for you to support each other through your common problems on the basis of the subject of the group. It's this weird. Oh, sorry.
You have Taco Tuesday if you want to have more Mexicans there.
Oh, well, they got to do things to be more culturally sensitive and have like cultural appreciation days like you'd have in like elementary school or something, and specific events catered around specific demographics. Yeah, not necessarily for those specific demographics, but to try to draw on the whole company to show that, hey, we appreciate everybody. Now, this stuff happens. I've done videos where they talk about it. Yeah, they do that.
That's asinine.
It is, and it also seems counterproductive to the idea of inclusion. If you're highlighting this specific ethnicity for no other reason than they are this ethnicity, what are you doing? And how does that promote inclusion, and not like, oh, we need to give these people a special day because otherwise we'll be accused of being racist? Yes, I don't know.
The only one I've ever seen where they've given examples, because Google has had this same problem, and they miss their mark every fucking year. But they want to include minorities and women, and so what they've tried to do for women is make it so that you can be out on time to pick up your kids. Like,
right.
Oof. Well, that's all right.
Yeah,
that's a little sexist there, ain't it?
Yeah, we'll make accommodation for people on the presumed issues that they're going to have or something based on whatever the demographic is. And it's not just women, but I guess, I'm sure there are some employment laws that kind of fall into that, and maybe they're just being sort of preemptive into something, or just being sensitive to that. And some things I don't necessarily think are untoward. Like if parents need a little flex time in order to take care of their kids, doesn't matter if they're male or female, I don't see a problem with that inherently, because if you have a single parent, an employer being given a little leeway to that, so long as the employee makes as much effort as possible to work within their own schedule to make time for their job, obviously. But yeah, some of these things are so like specifically like, well, because you are this color, or because you have these genitals, we're going to give you this special thing, or make this special, I don't know, concession or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but isn't that not fair? Never seems to occur, because I don't like with all the other videos, I can remain bewildered by the hoops people are jumping through to risk civil rights violations in order to look virtuous.
Indeed. Let's see. I did a monkey in the morning. Did I do any more gaming? No, I went to bed. So I did monkey in the morning, and I went straight to bed. So I did gaming right after the show last night. But had a good turnout for that. Thanks for coming in and watching, guys. Not going to be doing that tonight. I know I said I was going to be, guys, but I am exhausted. So we'll do a monkey in the morning and then a game stream after I wake up. Whenever the hell that turns out to be. That could be 2 hours after I go to bed, you guys. So follow me on Twitter so you know. With that, Satsu, what you got for the fucketry?
Well, we'll start with this one since I mentioned it already. But there was a post that Kanye put out, or not Kanye put out, but I think Fox News was the one who reported on it, saying that Kanye said, "Don't vote for Democrats." for insert whatever reason here. Let me see. I'm trying to find it as I'm talking about it. Kanye encourages Black Americans not to vote for Democrats. And it says here, that's not the power or whatever. And my statement to that was, look, I'm with Kanye 100% when he's talking about people being individuals and thinking for themselves. We need to get out of the sheep and hive mind mentality and do and think about what we want and not what others tell us we want. But when you use your influence, not to tell people to vote where their interests lie as an individual, but instead telling them to vote specifically or to not vote specifically for a group, then you are no better than the people you are complaining about. And I was actually almost compelled to do a video for this, but shit happened and it didn't happen. So, but yeah, it just seemed weird how he was going around kind of saying like, you know, they try to control your mind. They tell you who they want you to think. I'm a free man. I'm a free thinker. And then to come out and say, hey, don't vote for this particular group of people if you are this particular, you know, type of person. I'm like, that's literally the opposite of what you are trying to push here. Pick one. If you're going to go for the whole free thinker, I think everybody should be able to decide on their own what they want to do. Then I'm all behind you. But if that's just a smoke screen, so you can tell everybody to vote how you want them to vote, then fuck you, just like everybody else. I can't get on board with that. Consistency, people. It's
the Trojan horse of virtuous thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, yeah, no, I'm not saying you should vote the way I want you to. I'm just saying you should vote the way I want you to. Not on the basis of an idea, but on the basis of what you are, which is just that makes so much sense.
Well, I mean, I feel like if people really, because I mean, a good majority of people do this anyway, where they're just like, you know, I vote based on what I care about, and that is determined by a multitude of things, where my values lie and all that good stuff. There's me as a person, and summing that up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of decides that, and I'm like, that's cool, you know. But when you're just like, oh, that person's a Negro, and I'm a Negro too, so there you go, and that's it, or that person has a vagina, or that person believes, you know, this specific thing, and that's it. That's all you got. Then it's just like, all right, well,
it's actual identity politics at that point.
Yeah, and I don't subscribe to that. And I originally thought that he didn't either. But yeah, maybe it was just one of those moments where he was just like, you know, where it was a general statement but didn't come off as such.
Yeah, real quick in
Mm-hmm.
chat, Faithless says, isn't he saying don't vote Dem because you think you have to? Maybe that's what he meant, but that's not how he said it.
Yeah, that's not how it came off. Or more importantly, that's not how Fox presented it.
Fair enough.
Which I think is might be the key here. I think there's a slight possibility they could have been using his statement for their own, you know, political gains when that's what he actually meant. But I didn't see his actual quoted statement. So there you go. Let's see here. What was the other thing? Oh, here's one. The chick put out. I saw you guys comment on it. Well, I saw Monkey commented on it too. It says, "White people, what specific thing or things did you do today to that was actively anti-racist?"
Oh. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that.
And her comment up under that
was, sorry.
Yeah, what was actively anti-racist, and her comment up under there was, "Please do not speak up because you think you'll be centering you or being braggy or self-righteous or virtue signaling." She said, "If you absolutely can't think of anything you did today, when was the last time you did something actively anti-racist, and what was it?"
Okay, was that me or was that Satsu?
That was
Satsu sounded fine to me.
I think we're delayed, Scribe. You're responding to me in a little late, but yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
No. But that was I thought that was funny. And my comment, I left a comment that says, "Attention, whites, reveal to me how you prostrated yourself to the darkies, and don't you dare sound like you're bragging about it, or so help me God."
Yeah, my comment to that, and I didn't do a fucking thing anti-racist. I also didn't do anything racist or pro-racist, because that's not how I live my fucking life. By the way, I looked up Kanye's quote, and yeah, I think Fox may have taken him a bit out of context there.
Okay.
Because what he was saying is that you don't have to vote Democrat your whole life.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they took him a little bit out of context.
Yes. Another one was the hearsay can be much better than evidence statement.
Oh, that ass. Yeah.
Which I simply replied, "Oh, really?" And if you guys look in the comments there's a whole bunch of hearsay about this guy in there.
Yeah, I've heard Quinn likes to bang animals.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it myself or anything, but I've heard that.
Yeah, I definitely heard it. Yeah, that was one of those funny ones. And I also kind of got into a back and forth with some idiot. It was the thing that Kamala Harris had commented on when Trump said that some of the DACA people are hardened criminals or whatever. Let me see. What was the initial comment? Where is it at? So somebody was commenting, and then they said they were saying that this statement, I guess, was supposedly generalizing the entirety of all the DACA people, because he said
it absolutely wasn't.
He literally said some, and they said that was a generalization. But the person also said that Kamala Harris was not generalizing by literally definitively saying that Dreamers as a whole fight for the love of this country. That means every single one of them. Her statement, her definitive statement that every single one of them all has one purpose, was not generalizing. But Trump's, when he said some, is, and this is their rationale. He said the delivery as it's written overestimates the actual significance when compared to U.S. citizens' crime rate. And he said in order to create a narrative or to paint them in a negative light. The purpose defeats any logical attempt to portray any information. The president is a xenophobe. So I responded, you got to love that it's not a lot, so we should ignore it argument. He said some, which isn't exactly quantifiable by itself. So as long as there's two, then technically he's correct. But it's the same old song. As long as Trump says it, we have to fight against it. And he used the usual scripted response that they all use in a situation like this. You completely missed the point of what I said. Because that is...
Of course you did.
That is the go-to for everybody who is talking out of their ass. So I said, comparing crime stats is irrelevant. It's stating that he's stating that some are criminals, and is that in any way false? It's pretty simple. You are calling him a xenophobe simply for stating it, so I'm asking you this question. Is it a false statement? Now, check this answer out. Because this was interesting. It's one-dimensional, focusing and nitpicking on a complex issue and focusing on something without applying context. And have you read up on him? He's a mess. Frankly, your singular view on a many-factored issue is quite boring. Next time, assess all of the pieces first. Now, what was missing from that statement?
Anything relevant?
Literally anything relevant. I asked him a simple yes or no question. Very simple. Yes or no. Is the statement true or not? But he's saying, oh, it's more complex than that. I'm like, no, it's not. It literally is not more complex than that. It is about as simple as you can possibly be. I don't understand. Now he is not only shifting the goalpost, like he's taking that goalpost and ran the fuck, like he went home. This shit ain't even, we ain't even in the stadium anymore. He has taken the goalpost and taken it to a completely different place, because what he wants to talk about is the frequency in which it happens, which is completely irrelevant. Like, that really does not matter, because that was not what was presented. So I said, you're literally altering the conversation so you can dismiss the fact right in front of you. There's absolutely nothing complex about acknowledging the reality of the situation. I will even grant you the opportunity to apply the context, of frequency, even though it's completely irrelevant to this point. But you can still do both. Like, you don't have to pick one or the other, unless you're just full of shit and, once again, trying to just derail the fact that is being presented right now. Which obviously that's what they're trying to do, because they literally will not answer the question on whether or not it's a true statement. Well, I mean, they technically did, but they won't directly answer it. They basically Bernie Sanders the question. Let me see if I had anything else. This is one of those rare occasions where I actually had a decent amount of footage, so I'm like trying to get to it. Oh, this is the last one. A chick put out a post and said she was talking about some girl who claimed that she tears out pieces of her hair and leaves them in every Uber that she rides, just in case something happens to her. There's evidence that she was in the car.
Okay.
And she says, girls are ripping their hair out to help themselves in case they go missing. If you are a man, please recognize how privileged you are not to think about things like this 24/7.
You mean as a man who's more likely to be attacked?
Yes.
All right. I'll keep that in mind.
And her, once again, you make a statement, and then you have to, the obligatory rule is to make a statement like this immediately after. And I should have known men would reply to this defensively. This isn't your place. I never said. Hold on.
But she addressed men.
Yeah, but this isn't your place. I never said men don't go missing or aren't trafficked. Well, they are.
She wanted that. It's part of the con. This thing. I don't expect any pushback, except I say divisive that there will be pushback. And now I can say, oh, this wasn't for you.
She said, but I know for a fact that you live life on completely different. Yeah, I heard you, Scribe. Oh, did we
lose him again?
I don't know.
Hello? Oh,
hello.
Yes,
we heard you. I think he's having trouble hearing us.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you? So why are you guys so silent? No, I can hear you.
We're not silent.
Never mind.
Yeah, yeah, you were extremely delayed.
You must be really delayed.
Okay. Well, she said, I know for a fact that you live your life completely different because we take precautions and are attentive anytime we're in public. And my comment was, bitch, I grew up in the hood. There was never a day I didn't take precautions before leaving the house. I got jumped, robbed, and shot at more times than I can imagine. I mean, that I can even mention. And that was just for walking down the street, for being in the wrong neighborhood, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. That is apparently owned by motherfuckers who contribute nothing to it. Like, they just live there. Your fucking mom moved in that house and you happen to be born there. So now this street belongs to you. So now I have to answer to you because I'm passing by and tell you where the fuck my mom moved and made me live. Like,
yeah.
Like, that's supposed to be some type of significance. I'm just like, even to this day, I am a grown ass man. And I live in a neighborhood that's not really bad. It's a fairly nice neighborhood. I am paranoid of every fucking human being that I encounter when I leave the house.
I've spent most of my life in decent neighborhoods. But just as a precautious person, I pay attention. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I got the hiccups a little bit. Thank you, Lion Patriot. Howdy, y'all. Weebo Jolander and I just watched Casablanca. 'Twas good. Never trust dames. Yeah, it's a very good movie. It's one of my favorites, actually. Yeah, no, that's why I've always, women shouldn't have to take precautions when they leave the house. Smart men do.
Yeah. But we don't have to, though, you know.
No, we don't have to, because we never get assaulted.
Yeah, nothing happens to men ever. We don't even think about it. We just and here's the tripped up part. That it has gotten so bad that, like, I actually imagine scenarios in which anybody that I meet, like every time me and Squishy takes an Uber, or I take one by myself, like a Lyft or something like that, I'm thinking of all the scenarios in which this person is going to try to take me out,
Yep.
and how I can counter it, just in case.
That's just smart.
Yeah, I'm just like, what do you mean? Oh my god! Like, seriously, shut up. So my T had responded because I had said that. Let me see if I can go back and find her response here. Because I actually retweeted it, but I can't seem to find the retweet. Oh, there it is. Her response was, but wouldn't that have more to do with where you grew up as opposed to what sex you were born as? And I said, if you look at that exact example, sure, but that wasn't the only reason. Location was just enhanced my alertness. You know what I mean? Like the where I was enhanced it. I was doing that shit. I'm still doing it now. I've done it in every other neighborhood that I've ever lived in, because that shit can happen to you anywhere. Just being in the hood just made it worse.
Don't get behind me in public, because that's not a good place to be. I do not like people behind me for that very reason.
But I would literally slow down and let people pass me.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I don't just
like, get the fuck in front of me.
Just out of sheer precaution. I have crossed the street before. I'd like I didn't seen somebody like just kind of sitting somewhere that seems like an odd place for somebody to just be sitting for no reason and cross the street. Just like, nope. Yeah. Not even going to open up the possibility of something like this happen. Like not even happening. I don't understand where this mentality comes from. It's just like, yes, men just skate through life and not have to worry about anything ever happening to them. It's just that's just the way it is.
You know what this is, women? This is equality. Now you get to be just as cautious as we are. Welcome to it. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Did you have any more?
I think that's it.
Let's see. Elizabeth Warren tweeted out today, I got my degree thanks to a quality public college where tuition was just $50 a semester. That kind of opportunity doesn't exist for students today. I'm fighting for universal free public 2-year, 4-year, and technical colleges. Technical college, so every student can live their dream. Did you notice a difference there?
Mm-hmm.
She paid $50. But she wants to give it out free.
I noticed that immediately.
Those are different things.
Those ain't the same.
Why isn't she fighting for $50 college? I mean, I don't mean to be a jackass here, but seriously, how do you get from it was $50 when I was young to it should be free now? And look, college has gotten absolutely outrageous. It's ridiculous the amount that kids are being charged. And a large portion of that is how absolutely asinine professors' pay is. Professor Warren and how many administrators are now in the buildings or in the system. It's sure as hell not going to provide quality education.
Yeah, and that's actually a thought that hit me the other day that I was thinking about too. It's just like, these are the same people who are talking about teachers aren't being paid enough.
Yeah.
Like teachers and professors or whatever, like they're not making enough money. And it's like, I don't know if making everything free is going to help that at all. But
no, especially not when you consider how they want to make free healthcare. They're going to they're just going to pay doctors what they're paying Medicaid or Medicare doctors now, people who take Medicare, which is a very, very small payment compared to other payments. So teachers are going to end up fucked in this, but that's all right, man. She only had to pay $50 a semester, and so you guys should get it free. That don't math, Elizabeth. Let's see. Next up. Joaquin Castro. Just got to talk about him for a second. The brother of Julian Castro. He went up there and was talking about how the president was trying to extort other nations. This is a man who released President Trump's donor list to, well, basically put those donors in jeopardy to try to get them doxxed and hurt. But he's very concerned about extortion, you guys. Fucking douchebag. What's my next one here? I keep coming back to see if Scribbles is coming back, but I want to talk about this one just briefly. Matt Walsh tweeted out today, do Americans really care about the impeachment drama? Everyone Twitter is obsessed, but people out in the real world don't seem to be talking about it, in my experience. I don't blame them. I'm bored to death with it myself. He tweeted this out on the day the actual hearing started, and he's in the news. He works for the Daily Wire and does news stuff. And he's bored to death with the actual impeachment hearing starting. I get being up to this point just burned out with it. But this is the important part. This is the part you need to be paying attention to. And as somebody who deals with the news, maybe it's not a good time to go, I just don't fucking care. I'm just throwing that out. Throwing that out there. There was one more. Which one was it? Oh. So over and over again today, Taylor and Kent, the two guys testifying before the impeachment committee, were asked if they ever met Donald Trump, and repeatedly they said no. And this is where the hearsay comes in, so you don't know his motives. You didn't talk to him about no. And Jim Acosta tweeted out, Swalwell, referring to Representative Eric Swalwell, Mr. We're just going to nuke you if you don't give us your guns. Swalwell refutes GOP talking point that Taylor and Kent have not spoken directly with Trump, noting Mulvaney and Bolton have so far refused to testify. Now, it is absolutely true that Mulvaney and Bolton have refused to testify. However, them refusing to testify has fuck all to do with whether or not Taylor or Kent met and spoke with Trump.
Yeah, I was just like when you just read that, I'm like, wait, was that in relation to what you just said?
You would think that I think it's just the people at CNN have decided words don't matter anymore. It refutes what they said. No, it doesn't refute jack shit. Not a fucking thing. It's still an absolute fact that neither one of them spoke to the president. Hi, SDA. How you doing, sweetheart? But that's what he tweeted out. He refuted them. No, he didn't. You're just a dumb dick who hates the president. So good luck being a dumb dick. It refutes him. No, it doesn't. And guys, we're a couple minutes late. Sorry about that. But Satsu had a lot of fucketry tonight.
Yeah, I usually don't have any, and I had quite a bit. So
today, you were busy on the social media.
My bad.
No, it's not that. It's fine, man. It's fine. Look, Scribe's not here. We don't have to hold the format tight. I wonder if he's going to come back. He said he might not even try if he had to do it again. So we'll see. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's your time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into the chat now. We will do our absolute best to pay attention. I can't pay attention. Man, I'm so fucking tired. I'm drained, man. I needed a nap today. And by the time I was ready for it, my son had showed up. Like, oh yeah, I'm not napping. So yeah, remember, plenty of question marks. Try to keep it at like 5 or stuff, guys. I don't want you guys getting in trouble. And question marks if it's a question, statement marks if it's a statement, just so we know it's for us. Congress recognizes Armenian genocide. Cenk immediately runs for Congress. Coincidence? Oh, maybe he's trying to get in there to get that fixed.
Of course.
Dear Lords of the Night, when will you upgrade Scribe to patch 3.7.4? Look, man, as somebody with shitty internet, I understand how frustrating that can be, and the fact that, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it when shit like that happens.
You remember when OBS used to fuck up on me all the time, and that shit used to be infuriating.
Yeah. You can get in trouble for that. Well, check your logic. People got in trouble for spamming emojis. So I would imagine like multiple marks like that could possibly get you in trouble. I just don't want you guys getting in trouble. What do you think about Schiff saying he doesn't know who the whistleblower is? He's a lying shitbag. That's what I think. And as a member of Congress, he's supposed to be not necessarily under oath in there. I don't believe they get sworn in. But he is supposed to, supposed to be telling the truth when he's up there. Didn't he have to basically backtrack and admit it after he lied? What was Pumpkin's first word? She was about 2 months old when she said grandpa. And nobody can take that from me because we were all around and all heard her said it. She hasn't said it since, but she quite clearly said grandpa. Mm-hmm. Should I see if Apple's titanium card is LaserCat approved?
Oh, God.
Oh.
That would be kind of interesting to see.
Probably not, because from everything we've heard about that card, it's like they might call it titanium, but it's actually made of like talcum powder. Do you remember don't put it in your wallet?
Yeah.
When they were first announcing it, yeah, they said, putting it in your wallet could fuck it up to where it can't be used anymore. Like, that's fucking retarded. How do you make a card that you name titanium? Titanium, the strongest metal known to man. And it is so fucking flimsy you can't put it in a wallet like you can a plastic card. Oh lords, Meowie Christmas, what is your favorite dessert or favorite Christmas dessert? I don't know. I mean, I don't really think of Christmas desserts,
Yeah.
I guess Christmas cookies, maybe?
I guess. Fucking Starburst candy canes.
There you go. Oh, I guess, yeah, candy canes are great. But it's not like, Thanksgiving where you have pumpkin pie. That's a Thanksgiving dessert. You can have them the rest of the year, other times of the year still. Anything interesting about Duval Patrick? Scribble said he had a story. I haven't seen anything about him today, so nothing that I'm aware of. I'm sure there's something interesting about him if he was in the news today. Julian Castro released only the white donors. I was not aware of that. Oh, Scribbles.
This is my last attempt.
This is my.
Well, that's good timing. There's only 22 minutes left in the show.
All right. I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm very frustrated right now. I pay God knows how much extra money per month for supposedly the fastest internet, and I get fucked over like this. I don't even know what to tell you.
I'm sorry that's happening to you, but I know how. Trust me, I know how frustrating that is.
As far as Duval Patrick's concerned, he has all but said he's going to run. I don't know if an official announcement was made, but before the stream, there were many people close to him that were saying he's about to announce. So there you go. You get one more hat in the ring at the last minute. So yay.
Why so late?
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad idea. You let everybody else run out of steam and run out of excitement, and really a lot of them have. And you come in when things are quiet to try to shake things up. It doesn't necessarily mean that that interest will extend or that novelty will extend into the primaries by the time you get to Iowa and everything else, because at the same time, people won't be nearly as familiar with either you or your platform as they would have been if they've been watching you since, the first debate. But you got fewer people to fight against at that point too, I suppose. So I don't know. And if you can afford it, I guess.
Yeah, it's just good luck, man. Good luck. We're on question time. Did you have any fucketry you want to throw out there first, Scribe?
No, no. It is people's time. I will stick to format, unlike some people.
I feel like he was listening.
Why wouldn't I have been?
Wow. Can we just be grateful that Ranting Monkey's internet is stable enough? It's really not. My internet sucks so bad I can never tell that it's Scribe until Satsu says something, because I just assume it's mine.
Well, that's usually the case. I mean, without a third party to give you an indication, you're not sure. Is it me? Is it them? You don't know.
Yeah, but usually it's me. I mean, just going by, the numbers,
sure.
It's me.
Sure. Yeah. And like by the numbers, I should have less of a problem because they're gouging me on this extra fast, whatever bit rate, whatever the fuck it is, service per month. And yet here we are. So, I don't know.
Do you have any advice to help me keep going? It's been just about a year now that I lost my job and I'm only getting rejection letters. Note, I have 3 years saved up, so that's good. Oof.
Well, good for you for saving up and preparing for that rainy day. I guess it depends on what you're shooting for. I knew a guy that was so tunnel visioned on what jobs he was applying for. He would not apply for anything that did not either equate to or exceed his previous job in the exact same industry, in the exact same role. I don't know if that's what you're doing. I have no idea. But if you are at all, pigeonholing yourself and it's not worked after this long, you might start entertaining ideas that are a bit outside your realm, I guess.
Yeah.
And as far as if you are doing that, advice to help you keep going, eventually that 3 years runs out, man.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to eat. So you'll need a roof over your head.
Yeah. If you need inspiration, try fear.
Yeah. You need him for inspiration. Try starving.
Yay.
Stop eating for a week and see how you like it. Oh, Lords. I don't know if you guys talked about it or not, but a bunch of woke journalists leaked their salaries. What are your thoughts? Some of these fuckers are making $50K to $100+K. Depends. Journalists can make a lot of money. I mean, if you look at your top journalists on TV, they're making millions of dollars to be the anchors on MSNBC and CBS and all this kind of shit. So when you're talking about what kind of organizations are they working for, and how big is the reach of that publication? I mean, look, I might think a lot of these people are fucking morons, but they're getting paid what the market will pay.
I really want to know what Chris Cillizza gets paid. I really do, because and in all honesty, I make a lot of jokes about it, but I can't believe that man has a job called editor at large, and that he's given any kind of credibility at all, or has the position he has, given his absolute lack of either grammatical observation or his utter failure in the 2016 election to predict anything. And yet he's given a job where part of his, I guess, area is to start predicting elections and things like that. and then also invite on people like Harry Enton, who is just like I said the other night, his Igor, the Igor to his Frankenstein on the same point. And whenever we read Harry Enton's stuff, it is so. Are you talking to a 3-year-old? It's like, this statistic is 44%, while this statistic is 47%, which means that they're actually pretty close to each other.
I would be surprised if Chris isn't making high 6 figures.
At CNN, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, something like that, sure. I mean, it is
Editor at large
prestigious.
for CNN.
Yeah, that title alone has got to get you something.
If you had music playing in the background wherever you go, what music would it be? Something. Well, it depends. I'm not just one kind of music person. You know what I mean? It would change with my mood.
Yes.
Satsu's would all be anime related, though.
Not all of them.
Okay, all Japanese though, or Korean, or some shit he doesn't even know the words to.
Not all of them.
Mine would be the opening theme to Hunt for Red October on a loop.
Do you like any American music, Satsu?
Are you asking me that seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, I got a fuck ton of music. I told you, I listen to everything. Anytime we ever have this conversation, I just like exposing people to the weird shit I listen to. That's why I share that stuff on Twitter. But I listen to everything. There is something in pretty much every genre of music that I've ever listened to that I'm just like, oh, I kind of like this. There is music from everything on my phone because I just like music in general. It just so happens that I favor a lot of that kind of music because I'm always watching anime and stuff. So there's a lot of that to go around.
Why can't I see what SDA put in live chat? No clue. Nothing is censored by me on this channel. Prison wallet? What?
Prison wallet? Nani?
Why does Apple make garbage? Well, they don't. I mean, their titanium credit card seems to be garbage, but
sometimes Apple gets full of itself and believes its own press of its perfection, and they forget that Steve Jobs is dead.
Will it force us not thinking putting in my wallet, Monkey? I'm thinking putting it in a laser. I get that. I'm just saying the laser will probably set it on fire and burn your house down. Be careful. Have a fire extinguisher close, because again, their titanium card is the most fragile thing on earth. I thought the spamming was putting the same message multiple times. Again, not putting more in the same message. I am just saying, be careful putting. We only need like 5 or 6 question marks, and we understand that it's for us. We never know what pisses off YouTube.
Well, okay, so apparently the actual mechanism there was multiple messages of the exact same nature at a time, not individual messages with a lot of emojis. It was multiple messages with tons of emojis was being picked up as spam accounts or bots or something. So one message you put into chat with a bunch of emojis isn't going to knock it off. If you copy and paste 50 within the span of 30 seconds or something, you're in trouble.
I'm saying it's YouTube. I wouldn't chance it.
That is also true.
Have you ever ridden a toboggan south?
Is that a euphemism for something dirty?
I don't know.
I'll go ask Squishy. Give me a second.
There you go. Squishy will know.
She knows all the stuff.
That's right.
Ah, shit, it jumps. Hang on, guys. Rolling back up. There we were.
Oh, God.
Does YouTube have it in for Scribe? I have no idea. Why did you say
it? I think a combination of my internet and I don't know. Maybe I had something running in the back. I don't think so. But even then, I'm paying for like the super duper fast internet. So even if I was playing fucking World of Warcraft in the background, it shouldn't be knocking anything out. So I don't know.
Did you find what Toboggan South means?
No, I saw SDA's message. It says, Scribe Light, I'm about to send you the history of the Yeets because the Yeet monsters are now canon, and I want you all to know.
Oh yeah, so I made a joke today because they were something in Twitter. They were talking about cows in their Blackwoods universe, it's a conversation they had about who murdered all the cows, and I said obviously it was the wild Yeet, and they're like, oh my god, that's so funny. We'll have to work that in. And I said something to SDA privately because she says that it's going to be worked in, and we're going to get acknowledgement in the next book regarding the Yeets and all that. And I was like, great. And I said, and then I'll write the historical essay talking about the Yeet worshipping cult. And she's like, oh my god, that'd be great. And I said, that's fine. When you figure out what a Yeet is and what it looks like and what it does and all that stuff, give me those points and any other lore I need to know, and I'll work on it. And so I will either a now extinct or some rumored off in the distance Yeet worshipping cult is what I plan to do at some point.
Has Pumpkin started to speak? Yes, she has. Today she was saying bear over and over again because there's a teddy bear here she just loves.
Oh.
And she can say, get it. She can say no. She can say bye, and she can say hi, and she can say, who's that? Yeah, she's talking. She's little talking.
Aaliyah can screech like a banshee.
That's a kind of communication.
Yeah.
Deli Hayes says, maybe that's the problem, Scribe. Your internet is too fast and StreamYards can't keep up. It just happens from time to time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it'll not happen for 7 streams or whatever, and then all of a sudden one night it just keeps happening over and over and over again. Like, oh, fucking.
Mata's educating me on metals. The strongest natural metal is tungsten. Strongest alloy is steel. The hardest metal is chromium. The most useful strong metal, titanium. All right, close enough.
And by close enough, he means not close at all.
By close enough, I mean lick me. Becca, thank you. Comment or question. Oh, goddamn. Did you know that Cenk will be running against Papadopoulos? That's the guy that served for 14 days for lying during Russiagate. Is that where he's running? I didn't realize he was running in Katie Hill's district. I do know the guy that she beat was running again. And he only lost by a little bit. Well, not a huge margin. And they're not going to have a cute little blonde out there licking puss to get ahead. Satsu, how's the baby?
She is good. She's growing really fast. She's learning really fast. All kinds of stuff. She can make noises that ain't just crying, screaming at the top of her lungs like a crazy person. She's also she cycles through facial expressions sometimes, and it is the funniest thing ever because her default is like the mean mug, but today she gave Squishy the "what the fuck are you doing" face. Because Squishy was like doing something weird, and she was seriously staring at her like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm just like, dude, that face. I wish I would have took a picture, but I don't always think about that shit, man. Like she'll do something fucking hilarious, and by the time it's over and I'm like done laughing, I'm like, shit, I should have been recording that.
Oh lords, would you try a fried pickled potato? Fried pickled potato. Hey, why? You
had it at the fried pickles. You should have just stopped there because those are delicious.
I mean, I'd try a bite. I'd probably not like it though. Do you prefer karate or are you a judo nut?
I
Yes.
Well, I actually did martial arts when I was much younger. It was a combination of things. It was a combination of kickboxing and boxing and pankration, which is like the old, like ancient Greek wrestling style and stuff. So, neither.
There you go.
I actually used to do capoeira, which was fun. That was back when I was very athletic and I used to do backflips and shit all over the place.
I do white people shit. I watch it on TV. That's what I do. Satsu, why don't you do a weekly stream of you, Squishy, and Squeetus watching scary movies with the camera focused on yours, specifically the baby's reaction? You want Squeetus to watch scary movies? She's 3 months old.
Yeah, she ain't gonna be paying attention.
Talk about. I mean, I'm scared of clowns because I saw them when I was little. Was she gonna be scared of everything? Excuse me. Any of you catch the new improved Sonic trailer? I have not. You guys?
Oh yeah, they did an excellent job reworking him.
I saw it, but I mean, yeah, it's amazing how much effort they must have gone into to completely recreate and re-render that character to all the scenes and everything else. I don't think it's going to make the movie any better. No. I still think it's going to be a shit movie, but I really do wonder the value of actually reacting to the fans in that way. I mean, financially, I don't think it's going to actually even out all that much.
Well, I real quick, I'm sorry. To that point, I saw a Twitter post today. They said, we need to go watch this because they listen to the fans. I'm like, no, you need to go watch it if it's a good movie.
Right.
But anyway, I'm sorry, Satsu, you were about to say?
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. There is an effort of people saying like, and I don't know if I disagree with it because I know you said no, go watch it if it's good, but the only way you can find out if it's good is if you go watch it. Outside of some people in their reviews, but I feel like you guys wanted this movie. You wanted them to make the character to look to show some respect to the character, and it is extremely rare for them to listen, especially to this level. Like they literally went back and reworked the entire thing. I don't think it's a bad sentiment to tell people they listen to you. Go fucking support the movie.
Faithless had a Scribe typing real loud.
Sorry about
that. My problem with that, Satsu, is they didn't listen to the fans. They listened because the pushback was so horrendous from fucking everybody went, that's garbage.
I mean, yeah, but that was the desired effect, though, right?
Well, not to me. I mean, to me, the whole trailer looked like garbage. It wasn't just how ugly he was. And I don't need a Sonic movie. I just go watch this Sonic cartoon with Urkel doing the voice for it. No, if you had something else, go ahead.
No, that was it. I don't know. I thought it was a good sentiment. Like I hadn't planned on going to see it, and I still don't. But I'm definitely, because after I saw the character initially, I'm like, nah, I don't even want to watch it. Like I was vaguely interested in the concept of a movie, but I'm like, not with that character design. But now I feel like I kind of have to see it.
I also don't like the concept of creators making things just because of what the fans say. It's okay to take their input. What bothers me when creators have like what happened with Ghostbusters, it was just immediately, oh, you're just sexist. It couldn't be that people actually thought, no, this looked like garbage. Like, no, this is sexist. And that became the rallying point of Feig or whatever his fucking name is, all the way after the movie was released,
Well, what I don't understand is why they didn't test their designs with fans ahead of time before you invest all this money in rendering this character and everything else. I mean, obviously, you're going to want to merchandise this character and everything else. So why didn't you test audience or do some group focus group stuff with the design of various designs of the character and concept art before you even put one pixel on the screen. That part I don't get, because if you brought in known Sega fans or Sonic players or something else and said, here's our 4 design options, which one do you prefer? You would have saved yourself millions of dollars. It just doesn't, that part doesn't make any sense. That tells me that they weren't thinking ahead of time, that they were rushing this thing mostly.
Mm-hmm.
This will probably be our last question. Satsu, if I sent you a recipe for regional international dishes, would you do a cooking segment on international favorites?
If I can actually get a hold of the actual ingredients, then sure.
Okay, so Furry Kitten, hit you up with the recipes so you can see?
Yeah,
There you
just
go.
send the recipes to me. If you're in the Discord, that's probably the best place in the food section. Outside of that, DM me on Twitter. That's where some people send me theirs, and I will give it a shot.
All right, and with that, guys, it is the end of the show. Remember, if you are on the East Coast, you only have 1 hour left to get some humping in on this hump day. I'm really, really... I want to see a monkey baby boom 1 year from today. Get out there and hump, you guys. Make sure you have consent. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you so much for the donations. I don't think any of us have anything going on until tomorrow night when we come back and visit you on Satsu 2 cents for more Lords of the Night. Am I wrong there, guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll eventually do a monkey in the morning, but I don't fucking know when. All right. Thank you for the donations. You guys are amazing. I appreciate that. Scribe, Satsu, thank you guys so much for joining me as always.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
And I'm going to sing.